Hello, it's the first day of July. Let's go through the markets, see what's cooking. JPY USD looking pretty sus. Thinking about shorting. We'll see what happens on that. Our USDJPY long position is extremely close to our 163 target. And the Euro to USD short seems to be cooking. So that's pretty cool. And it looks like retail's panic selling the Nike opening. Well, they're missing the structural Goldilocks setup in European manufacturing and aggressive margin optimization in U.S. mega cap tech. Capital's rotating away from overextended commodities, and the macro landscape is shifting, it seems like. So let's go through the trades, see what we're looking at here. Look at our positions. SMH, this was a macro trade that we got into, really just kind of playing around with Gemini. And it's looking like it's paying off, but it's rising on low volume, which is not really that great of a sign. I think we moved the stop to break even. So we'll leave this for now. SEZL. We have a price target on SEZL from way back in July of last year. So we're looking for a massive double top there. And let's see how that's working. So we got low volume, trying to hit the consolidating high again. We're going to keep the stop where it's at. Currently, this is not the greatest sign, but we're closer to the target than we are the bottom. So we're going to hold this and hold this stop where it's at. Stop loss remains. MRNA. It's like we're getting a moderately high volume up thrust candle, showing signs of selling into that. Not super happy about that. We're going to keep the stop where it's at and see what happens with this. I expect a pullback into the 63 range. So I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move the stop up to about 62 there. Just a little bit higher just to reduce some of this. I do expect a pullback, but if it goes all the way back down, then I don't know. If it goes all the way back down, then that would still be a higher low. Yeah, I might just leave this. Where's this at? Just show activity. Previous was 57.02. So that's where it was at. Okay. Yeah, if you wanted to get a good short on options, MRNA would probably be a good pullback. When it comes to GLW Corning, I'm very upset about this position because price hit our target and I simply forgot to put the sell order on this. So we have lower volume than previous day, but it is a up thrust. Selling went into this, pushed it down, pre-market's down. So kicking myself this morning for not setting my price targets in the morning. That's my fault. So we'll just see what happens with it. Stop loss remains. Yeah, we're going to see some pullback on that. FTNT, low volume, pullback here, or just moderate volume. So it's just continuing to chop around. We have a pretty tight stop on this, so alright, Starbucks, we were up on Starbucks a couple days ago. Okay, so this is higher volume. That's a pretty high candle too, but it is forming higher lows. So we're just going to wait until this current pullback lands and it either hits our stop or it continues higher highs, higher lows. Alright, that's a quad. Let's see. Alright, let's check out Geo as we start to make some movement towards the... Alright, so we got a low volume indecisive candle. I like that. It's retesting the June 25th low. So we'll see what happens with this. Stop loss remains. That's a box scanner. Very interesting. We got in on this consolidation play. It looks like we're going to be in this for a minute, testing out the new box scanner or just the new custom scanner logic that we're about to eventually roll out for SignalDeck. This is an interesting one. We got real market price filled right at the top. It's crazy with a low volume test. So yeah, this is interesting. CVS. So we're seeing some higher volume here, right at just above our fill. High volume testing for support. It's usually not a good sign. Stop loss remains. Alright, this is a DAL. Airlines play. Continuing to try to get less volume than previously. It was still not able to get up. So I'm going to move this just a touch. So that's underneath, just inside that breakout bar. We got in on the DAL position. We got a good fill right when it was testing that May 29th for support. Price shot up. Now it's had some high volume on the 25th to try to get out, saw sell pressure. Then yesterday, lower volume to try to get out again, and still did not get good fills on that. So we're going to put a little tight stop on this, and we're going to put it just inside the June 24th candle, underneath the 25th up thrust, and it either continues out of this range or we just get out of this and book a profit. Okay. PBI. Low volume pullback. I like it. The trend is definitely up. Where's my fancy 200s and 20s? Okay. So this is once you layer on the additional indicators in SignalDeck, you get a real good idea of where this is going. So I expect it to hit our fill possibly, and then push back up. I'm going to keep the wide stop in place until we fully get out of this range. Okay. RTX was a box scanner position. I'm not really going to do a journal entry on this because we're just testing this. But this is getting out of flight. It had tested it, went back down to test for support, and now it's trying to get up higher. This is a gap fill as well. So yeah, this will be an interesting one to see how this plays out. LAN, we've been in this thing for a hot minute. And it's just bouncing around. This loves to grab for liquidity, but this is relatively low volume, moderate volume for this. Pre-market's down. Yeah. FBLA is a box scanner. Okay, low volume, I like it. I think as soon as this gets over that recent huge volume push, I'm going to look to move the stop on that. All right, low volume, pullback, looking good. There, FISI, we're just seeing low volume as it tries to get out of this recent high here. This is looking a little sus, so I'm going to move this up just a little bit below at 200 within that range. I think that's good. CSX. Trying to get out of this thing. Trying to get out of the high here. We're still technically higher highs, higher lows. This is definitely a grinder. So stop loss remains on this as we see where this goes. Actually might move it up, but we're still not out. We're barely out of our fill. It basically retested our fill yesterday. Did it test on lower volume? Is that true? Yeah, lower volume compared to the recent day, but higher volume than the high. Okay. And then Monster. I think we saw this position pull back a little bit yesterday. So kind of a moderate volume indecisive candle as it tries to figure out if anybody's going to buy a bid above. We have our stop in place right at the 200, so I feel good about this. Okay. And then lastly, PANW has continued to see really huge growth on this. If we check out PANW, we can see just another big candle day, pretty harmonic compared to the previous day, and pre-market's up. So I'm going to just further lock in some profit here and move it just within the candle of that huge breakout bar. So lower 1/3. I've read somewhere that if it is a true breakout, it will not go within the lower 1/3. So I'm going to put it even lower than that. So 314 area. I feel good about that. Okay. Let's go through some positions and see what's happening with the general market here. We're playing around with the gold short, but we're just doing the ultra short leveraged. I don't really want to stay in this too long because of the decay, but we're up a little bit, but it really wasn't worth holding too long. Let's go through the watch list and see what's going on. I added a couple things recently. Not sure if we got filled on Novo Nordisk or not. But this is definitely looking like a low volume pullback. Yeah, we're going to put this on the list. That's looking good. It's retesting that area on low volume. I like that. This should be a really good setup. What is this? Testing May 11th. Yeah, we had to buy order on Novo. I don't know if it filled, honestly, but this is looking pretty good. So we're gonna add that. Starbucks, we are in Starbucks. I don't need to look at that. Coinbase is absolute garbage. Good thing we had a stop on Nucor. We had our stop in place to invalidate the pullback thesis. It filled. We made just a little bit of money. If we would have held, we would have been down considerably. Nucor NUE, and we would have had capital tied up. That's why we have stops in place. There's Corning, makes me sad, but it is what it is. Let's see, Walmart. I do want to look at Microsoft. We have a buy order on Microsoft at 382. So this is looking like a pretty cool absorption spring, and we're even up in pre-market. So I think statistically, Microsoft does well at this lower part of the year. So we got it over that recent June 22nd area. So we'll just see if that fills or not. We'll just run through some stuff quickly to just see if anything looks good or not. Another good reason why we have stops in place. We had Macy's. The thesis did not work out, and now it's just continuing to drift down lower. It's going to retest that March 2024. I would assume this is a good puts play. We'll see what happens. Geo, MPLN. What is that, US Bank? Yeah, I don't like that. FTN. Rock. Okay, back at the top. I think this is good. Let's kind of look at the. Let's check out what all strategies are doing here. Yeah, more Iran war stuff. So fantastic. Okay, that's it for today.